you lose Stephon Diggs. You have another year of an older Joe Mixon. You lose Larry Tunsil. It kind of gets, it doesn't get easier. It doesn't get easier.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast AFC South Division Preview as we get you ready for the 2025-2026 NFL season. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and helping us break down the AFC South is our captain for life, Will Cotton. Will, AFC South is here. Probably a little disappointed already, but let's go ahead and get started, sir.
Let's do it.
Houston Texans. Over-under is 9.5. Houston has hit 10 wins each of the last two seasons. We did have a little step back last year with our boy. What do you think about the Houston Texans, sir?
I think that they're still the favorite to win the division. I think the division is just not that very good at all. You lose Stephon Diggs. You have another year of an older Joe Mixon. You lose Larry Tunsil. It kind of gets, it doesn't get easier. It doesn't get easier. So they'll have a rough season. I expect them to win the division, which doesn't really do too much them because they do need help in the draft. So, but looking on paper, I see them winning the division, even if it's with like 7 or 8 wins.
Quarterback had a little bit of a sophomore slump. Does he get back to it?
Yeah, I think he can. I think, it'll be difficult. Actually, let me retract myself and say, no, I don't think he comes back. You lose Stephon Diggs. Your best player is with Nico Collins, and I think he's a speed guy. It's very hard for you to be the guy when you're the only guy as a speed guy. He's been injured a ton of times. I think the other kid they have is I forgot the other receiver that they signed. He just came from Jacksonville over here. Christian Kirk, sorry, there it is. Not big wowing things. He's gonna have to do a lot more than somebody with his talent, and it's difficult when he's not. So we'll see. I don't think he'll come back to normal. I think he comes back to normal, and they'll say, "Oh, are we gonna pay this guy? Are we sure?" So we'll see.
All right. Speaking of paying the guy, Jacksonville Jaguars over/under is 7.5. They have the 9th easiest schedule. They shouldn't be as bad as they've been. Trevor Lawrence has been injured and he has underperformed. How much longer are they going to blame Urban Meyer for his bad play? What are you thinking about Jacksonville?
Jacksonville, we'll see. We'll see. There are a lot of question marks. There's nothing really that you can sit on and be like, man, they really are good at doing this. I think, in my opinion, in the last 3 years with the Jaguars, there's been just too much change. And when there's too much change, they don't really have a plan of making their team better or support their quarterback or quarterback their team, period. So I don't think they really have a plan. So I expect it to be under 7. I think they'll miss the playoffs again, and then they'll start looking in different directions in the 2026 offseason.
All right. The Indianapolis Colts over/under is 7.5. A strong division when the over/unders are very low. Okay. They've got a quarterback situation. They got Danny Dimes. They shouldn't have drafted Anthony Richardson. They're wasting their running back. What are we doing? That over/under seems pretty high. I don't know which direction I'm going to go in, but I'm not very enticed about 8 or 9 wins with the Colts. What are you thinking, sir?
I'm not a big believer of the Colts, to be honest with you. I think probably towards the end of the season, they're going to start looking to trade Jonathan Taylor, trying to recoup some sort of draft picks and something to try to move forward with their decision. They're going to move on Anthony Richardson. So I think you would rather want to go into the offseason with a clean slate as best you can, and knowing that, hey, okay, at the end of the day, we're exactly where we were 3 years ago. So, there's a heavy quarterback draft coming in. There's not really a receiver there that's really going to move or move the needle, in my opinion. They can, hang their hat off defense, but a lot of those guys in defense are getting older now. And again, when you don't have a good quarterback who can't score, then it's for naught almost to have a good defense. You're just kind of in the game and until the inevitability. But yeah, I think this team is going to start trading and shedding assets towards the end of the season. I don't think it's team going because you know what they say: when you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks.
All right. Now, Tennessee, first of all, the over-under is 5.5. Cam Ward, um, yes, he's the number one pick, but he's the number one pick in a bad draft. So what are we doing with them? Uh, I'm just not very confident about Tennessee. Tell me I'm wrong.
I mean, as far as I know, I mean, at least they'll have a guy that they're like, okay, we can build around him. Whether he's good or not, he'll get the opportunity to say, okay, this is what he does well, and this is how we're going to support him. Last time they had Will Levis, who they know was just terrible. They brought in Malik Willis, that failed again. They came in here with Mason Rudolph, they failed again. They just need some sort of stability. So if you can have stability, even if Cam Ward is not Aaron Rodgers or Jaden Daniels, if he's not one of those guys, but he gives you the stability, you can build around a guy like that. We've seen it with a guy like Purdy. And right now, the best thing that Cam Ward is, he is relatively cheap, which means the next 2-3 years, man, you could put some really good talent around him, and you could really make a move. Because again, this division is trash. So one or two moves, man, and then you can be in the playoffs, and all of a sudden your name is out there. So they're playing with house money, I think, in Tennessee.
Well, they do have Tony Pollard, so he has somebody to hand off to, and Calvin Ridley is a quality wide receiver. So they have something, but the AFC South is just kind of underwhelming. So in segment 2, we're going to give you the big questions surrounding the teams in the AFC South. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Keith Adams, and for years, I've witnessed the struggles student athletes face on how to truly balance the demands of academics and athletics. It's a question that I have dedicated my life to answering. That's why I wrote Finding the Balance, my personal journey to academic and athletic success. It's more than just a book. It is my personal journey, and it is filled with hard-earned lessons from decades as a coach, educator, and now president of the CKA Safe Project. Inside, you will find practical advice, real-life stories, and a clear roadmap to help student athletes, coaches, and parents navigate the complex world of balancing sports and education. And now I am thrilled to bring this message to a wider audience as a proud member of the Cascade Sports Network. We're partnering to amplify these crucial conversations about student-athlete success. I believe every student-athlete deserves the opportunity to reach their full potential, both on and off the court and the field. You can purchase your copy directly from our website at www.ckasafeproject.org. Join me and the Cascade Sports Network as we work together to help every student athlete succeed. Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast in segment 2. We're going to go over the big questions. First, with Houston, we talked a little bit in segment 1. But C.J. Stroud had an outstanding rookie year, and then Jaden Daniels comes in and just wows everyone while C.J. and a lot of other young quarterbacks take a step back. Houston has the opportunity to win this division. Can they run away from it, though, and make it no doubt? What do you think?
We'll see. It all depends on C.J.'s play. I think as quarterbacks continue to move through their careers, You lose the guys that got you there. Obviously you get a little bit more expensive, so you're losing receivers. Guys are a little older that you let you depend on. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see if he's going to be the guy. And again, if he can make those plays that we loved 2 years ago, I mean, shoot, that's be easy money for him to connect the contract. But I don't know. It's just so difficult. It kind of depends a lot on Joe Mixon. Again, he's a little older too, so he can lean on that. But there's really not. And again, I don't know if their offensive line is going to be good enough to support him that he needs. And I think he's going to have to do a lot of running, and I'm going to have to do a lot of just play action just to keep the trash and all this in the area. I think it'll be, and he's still a little guy. I mean, no offense, but he's still a little guy. So I think, unfortunately, I don't think he takes a step forward. I don't really take a step back. I think he's just what he was last year, and the questions remain.
All right, Jacksonville. So is this the year Trevor puts it together? So my problem with Trevor Lawrence, and it's not Trevor's fault, is he's being paid like an elite quarterback, and he's providing average to below average results. Now, again, you are worth whatever somebody wants to pay you. But at the end of the day, Jacksonville should be better, and they're not. Is this the year that they put it together, or is this the last year before they dismantle the whole thing and start over?
I'm thinking it's supposed to be that they're going to get dismantled, Coach. I think this was supposed to happen, 2 or 3 years ago. By now, I mean they made the playoffs. They beat the Chargers. Everybody was loving. I just they keep taking a step back. I don't really see them taking that progress in any way. If it wasn't for them going to London every year, nobody would even watch their games. Nobody would. So, but the thing is, they have some young talent, man. That they have some young receivers. They have a young running back. I think they can do some things, but again, it's on Trevor Lawrence, and if he goes out there and plays subpar, then that's what they're gonna get, a subpar kind of team. I don't think he's a bum. I think at some point, with everything in the team they have, they can get to, 5 or 6 wins, but they're not. They are bums. They're bums. He has to play well. He just has to play better. He has to play better, and he has to stay healthy because there's even a worse Bama behind him.
Oh, who's the backup?
Matt Jones.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. Yeah. We need to keep you upright. All right. The Indianapolis Colts. You shouldn't have drafted Anthony Richardson, but you did. Okay. Then you got Daniel Jones from the Giants. And in this upcoming draft, it's supposed to be a quarterback class gurus of Arch Manning and a whole lot of other folks. If you're booking this, Will, who are you starting at quarterback? And yes, I didn't forget that Anthony Richardson kind of quit on his teammates, and it's still hard to come back from that. All right. So how are you doing this?
I think right now, I don't know if Richardson's going to win the job in the summer, to be honest with you. I mean, if they brought Danny Dimes here for a reason, they said, we're bringing here, he's just not going to sit on the bench.
Is he still hurt? Is Richardson still hurt?
I'm not too sure. I've been looking up too much on the Indiana and the Colts, but the kid, if he is hurt, then he can't do the little things that he needs to work on in his game. He should be going to the film room. He should be at least going to a sports psychiatrist where he can talk about, how does he fulfill his destiny, I should say. But I just don't see it happening for this team. I think at some point they have 2 rentals. It's like having 2 rental cars. Like at some point they're coming back to the store. Like at some point they're not going to have them. It's low risk for them on the quarterback side. If things start getting really, really bad, then they'll just say, okay, well, we still have to sell tickets, so one of y'all can play. It's all good. Hopefully they end up in the lottery and then in the top 10 or top 5, I should say. And then you're picking a generational talent, I guess. But what a mess in Indiana.
It's a
Ever
mess.
since you would never believe that Andrew Luck retirement would cause so many ripples down the line.
Yes.
Um, it's almost like you have to be given a sure thing for a draft pick for teams like that, which is crazy because they have not got it
Oh,
right.
that
In
Andrew Luck thing, it still haunts them because they were geared up to go and he just left and he's got every right to leave. I think Daniel Jones is a good quarterback, but I think quarterback is overvalued and overrated. And franchise always gets on me about that because I'm like, you're paying a lot of money for underperformers. So I can pay Geno Smith to underperform. I don't have to pay Trevor Lawrence $50 million to underperform. I
right,
get somebody to underperform for half that price. All right.
exactly.
Tennessee. Uh, when you have the number one pick, you got to have that conversation about how well the number one pick's going to do. But this is the number one pick in a pretty bad division. So if you're going to do well, this is the best division to kind of try to do well on. So how well do you think Cam will do? Will he be rookie of the year type good? What do you think?
I think the best thing is there are no expectations. There's nobody going when they go into the game. Nobody's looking for the Titans. They're looking to just win and get through healthy. Go to get dinner and then we done. Nobody's really looking at them. That's how you can sneak up on people and you win those games. They're going to need some. They're going to need some Hail Mary games. I mean, if you really want to do it, follow the Commanders' formula. They want to. That's how they became what they are. People weren't really looking at the Commanders. Wouldn't believe they would win these games. They go out, they win these games. They string them some wins and wins and wins and wins. They overachieve, I should say. And to be honest with you, the Titans have that in their own division, so they don't even have to do as much as the. If they were the Commanders of last year, they would have won the division. They would have shoot. They'd have been up there. So I think their base thing. I think the best thing is walk quietly and carry a big stick and try and go there and take down some giants because you can beat every single team in that division, in my opinion, and I'm sure you can get a couple wins outside of that too.
All right. So, fans, when we get back in segment 3, we will talk about things that are strictly for entertainment purposes only. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast. Hi, everyone. Dr. Keith Adams here. And for over 30 years, I've dedicated my life to helping student athletes succeed, not just on the fields and the courts, but in the classroom and beyond. And that's why I founded the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project understands that finding the balance between academics and athletics is crucial for long-term success. That's why the CKA Save Project offers a range of programs, including personalized consulting, mentorship, and coming in 2027, our innovative Gap Year Basketball Academy designed to assist both young men and women reach their full potential both on and off the court. I'm incredibly excited to announce that the CK Save Project is now partnering with the Cascade Sports Network. This partnership will allow us the opportunity to amplify our message and reach even more student athletes through the Odd Coaches Podcast and other exciting initiatives. Join the CKA Save Project and the Cascade Sports Network as we empower the next generation of student athletes. Visit CKA on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org to learn more. Let's work together to find the balance and help unlock your potential. Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast. In segment 3, we're going to talk about things strictly for entertainment purposes only. So, Will, I have Houston as the predicted division champ. What say you?
Right now, I got to go with Houston as well.
All right. For my sleeper pick, I got to go with Jacksonville because they shouldn't be as bad as they are. Who's your sleeper in the AFC South?
Sleeper. I'm gonna go with the team that I was just hyping up, man. You don't know you're bad. If you don't know you're bad, you're dangerous. I'm going with Tennessee to be the team to sleeper.
All right. Playoff teams. I only see one in the AFC South, and that is Houston. Do we see more than one playoff team from the AFC South?
Nope. Nope. That's it. Nope. Just Houston.
And then finally, big game participant. I do not see any team in the AFC South playing for the NFL championship since we don't have the rights to the bowl of super. Will, am I being too hard on the AFC South? Or, yeah, these guys are terrible and good luck with that.
I'm with you, coach. Man, nobody in Super Bowl from this division.
All right. So, fans, we have wrapped up the AFC South. So, on behalf of my captain for life, Will Cotton, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches podcast, also seen on the Cascade Sports Network. And we will see you on the sidelines. Until next time, take care.
The Odd Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach Franchize. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches podcast.